G'day everybody. This is actually quite an exciting review to do today. This is something I didn't expect to be reviewing, but I've found the product so good and I've been really excited about it, so I really wanted to review it. Previously I have done a review of the Telstra Smart Antenna, both previous generations of it, the 3G version and then the 4G version. I've run them pretty much since they came out. And just after that video, during this year's COVID-19 pandemic resulting lockdowns and such, I live out of town, and in the regional area I live in, I've found that the only internet I have is via mobile broadband, and I had found that the mobile broadband had become very unreliable. It had really slowed down. A lot of people, a lot of additional reliance on it, with people, around me. While there's farms, there's an awful lot just near me of lifestyle blocks, people using the internet, bigger draw on the network, and the internet speeds were slowing down. So I was looking for other ways to speed things up. So I went from my traditional modem setup to a MIMO modem, MIMO antenna, multi-input, multi-output antenna setup, which you can see behind me on my roof. There's two parabolic MIMO antennas, and then there's another antenna on underneath. And while I was doing that, I was speaking to Telstra changing over my mobile broadband plans, and came across this. This is the Telstra Go, Telstra Go Smart Signal Repeater. This is the new version. They'll get up the right way. This is it here. And this is fairly new. It's not, I wouldn't say it's brand new now. It's been out for a little while. But this is the new repeater that they have. They have a mobile version that you can fit in your car, and they have, this is the fixed version for a house or an office or something. And the previous model, as I had shown, had two units. It had a base unit where you either put that on a windowsill or something, where if you had a part of your house that you knew you had service, you'd put that on that windowsill. And then you'd have a receiver unit which you'd put in another part of your house, and the two would talk to each other and spread that signal from where you had signal in the house throughout the whole house. Now, I didn't have that at my particular location. What I did was I had an antenna on the roof that I brought down. It was a non-directional antenna that came down and then into the smart antenna. And then that signal was broadcast through the house, and that's how I got my internet signal and my broadband signal. Because without it, when I first bought my first 3G smart antenna, I had no signal here, basically one bar. Inside the house I had nothing. With the antenna on the roof and the smart antenna, I got full service. And then when I bought the 4G, I had no 4G at all, nothing, zip. But I had pretty good 3G by that stage. But I wanted 4G for a faster broadband data. So I put the 4G antenna on the roof, down into the smart antenna. Again, I got full signal, and it served me extraordinarily well. The reason I've gone to change over to one of these is, looking around at the price of those 2-unit smart antennas online, I had a look and see what they were worth used, and they were worth about $800. They were selling for $800 and more, which is basically the price of one of these new units. So I said, well, I can upgrade by selling off my old one and going to the new one at pretty much no changeover cost. So what have I got to lose? So I did that. I've had two smart antennas. I've had one at my packing shed and office, and then one at my house. And I found this unit to be so good that I have one in my house, and this is the unit for my office and packing shed. It's so good, I've changed them both over. So now I have two of these in both locations. The antenna port is still the same, so you've still got an SMA male that comes in here. So if you're upgrading from the old 4G or even the old 3G, assuming that you've got a 4G and 3G antenna on your house, all you need to do is unplug the old one and plug the new one in. And it's a very, very simple installation. No 2 units anymore. Now you have an antenna. This is a little antenna, or you can go to multiple antennas. The instruction in the box will tell you how to do that. But I've found this little antenna that comes with it to be sufficient to share a full bars signal throughout my house. So I have a directional antenna now. I've changed over to a directional antenna which feeds this, and it's giving me excellent service. And I'm using the same sort of directional antenna at both locations. Looks like a paddle pop. You might be able to see it on the bottom of my antenna array behind me. It kind of looks like a vanilla panel pop. If you're from Australia, if you're overseas, you might know what that means. But because this is a Telstra product, you probably don't need to know what this means if you're overseas. The other antennas, the two parabolics are MIMO antennas. That feeds my internet. That will be a topic for another day. I won't talk about that today, just talking about this one. But I found this really, really good. I principally like it because I don't need the two boxes anymore. You just have one unit in your house. I've got it mounted to the wall where the antenna comes in, and that feeds the house. Same thing at the packing shed and office. It's in the middle of the building, just mounted on the wall. Antenna comes in, broadcasts it to the whole place. I found that really good, and I don't need to have one unit in one place plugged into the wall and one unit in another part of the house plugged into the wall. This is the only unit that I need. The other thing I really like about this is you can connect it to the app for this. So it gives you directions in your installation instructions about the app to use. Download the app on your phone, and to help you determine where the best signal is, you can use the app, and you can say test the signal strength. Test signal strength, it'll give you a reading, move it, test the signal strength, move it, test the signal strength, move it, and you can find out where your best signal is. Now, with this one, we're pointing at our nearest 4G tower with my directional antenna, and I pointed it straight towards the antenna and did the signal strength test, and it wasn't too bad, and then moved it and moved it and moved it, and found out that I was actually getting a stronger and more reliable signal strength by having it offset a little bit. Why that is, I'm not sure, but that little functionality is really good. I previously had a non-directional, so it'd be omnidirectional. I could just pull a signal from wherever it wanted. Now I've got a directional, so it has to be pointed to the antenna, and that little feature in the app to determine what your signal strength is a really useful feature, especially if you're going to install it yourself. If you're going to get someone else to install it, probably not so much of a problem. They'll have things that can determine which way they should point it. But on this itself, it actually has the ability for you to test your signal strength and determine which way you should point the smart repeater to determine that you're getting the best possible signal. I think that's a really, really nice little addition there with the app. Doesn't cost you anything, just download it. Beautiful. What I would suggest, if you don't have line of sight, if you can't see your tower, so at the packing shed and my office, I can't see the tower, so when I'm on top of the roof and hanging the antenna, I don't even know where to start. I know it's roughly over, let's say it's roughly over there. Well, I don't know exactly where it is, but what you can do is there's some wonderful apps online that you can get on your phone, like Oz Phone Towers, and you can open the app at your location, and it'll show you the reach of your nearest antenna and which one you should be pointing to. You can say, I'm looking for Telstra or Optus or Vodafone or whoever, and you can point it. You just hold your phone out, show where the direction is, or show you roughly where it is, and then you can use the Smart Antennas app on capturing that data to determine which one it is. And it's quite good because I think there's 12 different signal strengths that you can capture, something like that, 10, 12, something like that. So you can capture signal strength, move it, test it, capture signal strength, move it, test it, capture signal strength, do that multiple times, and then go, okay, obviously it needs to be pointed somewhere here. And then you can fine tune it a little bit. Really helpful feature. I really like this. I didn't go looking to buy this. It was only really that the value of my old smart antenna, which prompted me to upgrade. And I'm really glad I did, because no more 2 units. One of my units was at one end of the house. It was in my living area. It was always getting bumped and knocked. It was always in a pain. You got another place where you got to run cables. Don't have to do that with this. It's just one hanging in the wall, and on the wall, and it'll broadcast it. Really like this product. Really excited to review it. Would I buy it again? I have bought it again. That's usually the yardstick for my reviews. Would I buy it again? Yep, this is so good in my house that I bought another one, and I've sold my old one, my old 4G dual one, and I've bought another one of these. This is the second unit I bought, and it's operating in my packing shed now. I've had this for about, the first one I've had for about 6 months, and this one I've had for about, say, 3 or 4 months, and I've just taken it off the wall just to show you today. But really like this product. I've been a big fan of the smart antennas. I'm not going to argue that, you know, even in a regional area, you would hope that you just have phone signal. You would hope you just have it by default. Unfortunately, that's not how things work, especially if you're, you know, regionally or you're on a farm like I am. It doesn't always work that way. So sometimes you've just got to try and make the best of it. And this gets me really good. I can't get NBN here. I can't get NBN satellite. I can't get ADSL2 even. So my only option for data is mobile broadband, and this and MIMO antennas and all that sort of stuff, it does make it viable for me to actually have an internet connection. While more expensive than something like NBN, it does work. It is reliable now with the antennas on board, and it's something that I appreciate, because there was a time when I didn't get basically any cell coverage out here at all. So we might do the internet review another day. We'll run through my MIMO setup and how I run that to give myself reliable broadband, especially this year, while lots of additional load has been on the network. Cover that another day. But this one, if you're in an unreliable area, if Telstra is your network of choice, I would seriously consider using this. I hope this was useful for you, and I appreciate you watching.